Hi everyone, today I would like to show you my favorite way to transfer my sketches onto black paper. But first I'm going to show you a couple of other ways that you can do it, and they're very common ways of doing it, but then it'll explain to you why I don't like doing it very much, especially if I'm going to use colored pencils after that. So a typical way to do it is with tracing paper. So you can see that it's see-through, and you put it over your sketch and you grab a graphite pencil, and all you have to do is just trace it, go over it. And the reason why I wrote something inside is to show you that there's two steps to doing this, so that it's the actual right side up when you transfer it on your paper. Like if you flipped it over to transfer it straight on your paper now, then you'll have the drawing backward. If that's what you want, that's great. But if you want to reproduce this, then you're gonna have to go over it again on the other side. And then you flip it one more time. You put it where you want it on your black paper, and you trace it one last time. Try to make sure not to push too hard, because otherwise you will have an indent on your paper, which will not be very helpful when you use your colored pencils, because they will not go inside that crease that you just created. So, can you see it? Of course not. It's graphite. Graphite on black paper, you can only see it at an angle. You might be able to see it now. And so it doesn't make it very easy after that. Once you have transferred your sketch onto your black paper with a graphite pencil, it doesn't make it very easy to see it. And so it's a bit, to me, it's just hard to draw after that with that very light drawing. So there is another way that people use, is transfer paper. And transfer paper comes in lots of different colors. This is the most common, it's the graphite. But then you have white, blue, yellow, red, and you can use white because this will stand out very well on black paper. But you can also use the other colors. Now keep in mind that if you're going to use your colored pencils after that to draw on your paper, if you use a different color, it might just be a bit weird. It might not work very well. So you have to make sure you find the right side of the paper, and it's usually the side that's a little bit more matte looking. And the good thing about the transfer paper is that it's reusable. You can see that I've used it many times. You can see all the traces on it, and you can actually trace your drawing only once if you want. So I'm going to show you. You need to put the paper with the transfer side down on your black paper, and you can tell which side it is also because you might end up with little white powder on your fingers. Then you take your drawing or your sketch, you put it on top of it, and it works best with a thinner paper. And then you take whatever you want, whatever tool you want, and you just trace your sketch, and that's gonna go right through onto your transfer paper. You actually can see my circle here, and on the other side the white powder will be pushed onto the black paper, and you end up with this. But you can see it's a little messy. You have some powder a little bit everywhere, which shows very well on black paper, unfortunately. And it's a little tough to clean up. You can always take a blue tack or poster putty to dab on it, and it comes off. And I would suggest to do that on the actual sketch that you transferred, so that you remove most of it, or a good amount of it, so that it doesn't interfere with your drawing after that. So that's to me a little easier than using the tracing paper, because you see your sketch much better on your paper, but it's a bit messy. So here's the way I do it. It's very much like the first way of doing it. So I've got my drawing here. I will start with my graphite pencil. And when I flip it over to get to the other side to trace it the second time around, I don't use my graphite pencil. I use a white colored pencil. And my favorite is the Prismacolor Premier, which is nice and soft. And I will trace over this with my white pencil. Now when I flip it over again to transfer it onto my black paper, I can use my graphite pencil again, and the part that's white is the part I'm going to put against the black paper, and I'm going to trace it one more time. And the last time you trace it, you don't need to be very exact, or you don't need to do very fine lines. You can just scribble over it if you want to. All you want is for the white to be transferred onto your black paper. So now you have a very light transfer of your sketch. It's not messy. All the mess you see here is still from the transfer paper. And you will create a nicer, finer line, which is the exact same medium that you will actually use to draw on your black paper in the end. So it will kind of melt or mingle together, and it will disappear eventually. You won't have to erase it. So this is my way of transferring my sketches on my black paper. Again, I've mentioned that before in the video. The reason why I never sketch on my black paper and I always transfer my sketches on it is because when you erase on black paper, it often damages the finish of the paper, and it leaves a shine on it. I guess it probably depends on the type of paper you're using, but it does on this one. This is Stonehenge black paper. This is my favorite to draw on with my colored pencils, and so that is the reason why I just transfer everything rather than sketching on it. And this is how I do it. I hope it's been helpful. And these are 3 ways. The first one you can't see very well. The second one is messy. And to me, the third one is just right. Thank you all for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.